Hi guys, this is Mrs. Matthew Jess Outdoors. Told everybody I was going to make a gardening video, so today is spring cleanup. The garden's starting to say springtime is here in Ohio, so let's show you around a little bit. First, we have what we call our center circle. In the summertime, it's an annual bed. Right now, we have tulips starting to come up, and actually, if you look closely, you can see them coming up there. I have tulips all the way around this circle, and it looks really beautiful, all various colors in the spring. So we're working on getting this all cleaned up so when they pop, they look good. And then we come around here to the front flower beds. Up here, we have some different stuff going around. Like I said, it's a mess. I mean, this is spring cleanup. These are generally perennials that I keep in here. I have cone flowers. Here we have some dead hostas, but underneath they're probably starting to come up. Those are my spring hyacinth. They're starting to pop. So we're gonna get all this dead stuff out of here. I leave all of these flowers because this is a perennial bed. So the seeds, between the birds and the wind, the seeds drop and the flowers come back themselves every year. So we're gonna get this all out of here. There's daffodils and tulips sprinkled throughout this bed. And then in the next bed over, we have a couple different things going on. Again, a lot of perennials, cone flowers. We have lilies in here, all various lilies. Back in here, oh, here we have some hostas popping up. Move these guys. We have some daffodils in there too, and some tulips. So we have some daffodils, some hostas, some tulips there. These are creeping phlox, and these guys will start to pop here shortly with all kinds of purple flowers. We have some daffodils coming up there, some irises over in here. So we clean out the dead stuff. The irises will be on shortly. And then along this side are just various daffodils, tulips, lilies, and I sprinkle in annuals as we go. The tree we have here, we put in, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, I think. And this is called a weeping cherry. And in the spring, it fills with all beautiful pink flowers. It's just gorgeous. So it's already starting, if you look close, it's already starting to get little buds on there. Those are all going to be flowers, and it flowers before it'll have leaves. On the side of the house, we have some dwarf lilac bushes. Right now, they're not doing a whole lot yet, but they are a spring plant. And I have one lilac. We're gonna see if I can bring him back to life. He's a regular Ohio lilac, and for some reason, I don't know, he's having a rough time. These are called dwarf lilacs. They don't look like they're dwarf. They come from Michigan. That's where my family is, and I brought them here, and they just took off. And their flowers and leaves are smaller than your standard lilac, and they stay up just a little bit more of a bush than a tree. And now we're gonna show you the backyard. All right, so we're in the backyard now. Here along the back of the house, I have cone flowers. I put on all kinds of hydrangeas. They look terrible right now. I'll probably pull the dead flowers off. But one thing you don't want to do is you do not want to cut down hydrangeas. So these will all look like dead sticks for a little while. But if you look closely at them, they do get little leaf buds. If I were to cut all of these down, the stick part would grow back, but they wouldn't get any flowers. It's one weird thing about hydrangeas. In here, these big guys, these are called Russian sage. They get beautiful, fragrant purple flowers. We get lots of bees. The bees love them. But nobody's been stung yet, so we feed our bees. And then underneath, all these guys here, those are called coreopsis. They're a perennial, and they just come out from underneath all the hydrangeas. Then we have some more Russian sage here lining the porch, which doesn't look like much now, but I'll do another video when we're in full swing. So let's go back to where we grow our food. It doesn't look like much now, but this is our garden bed. I hand dug it when we moved in. It's a lot of work. It obviously needs cleaned up, but we are in Ohio, we're zone 6. I've made the mistake of planting before Mother's Day, and it never fails. We will get a hard freeze every time. So usually I wait till about Mother's Day weekend. So we'll be making a video when it comes time to plant until and have fun with this. But over here, and this needs a good cleanup too, this is what I call my perennial herb and vegetable garden. Mostly in the center, we just have a variety of herbs. Down here, I've got my strawberries. And I started with just a couple, and they just spread like wildfire. Here in the middle, herbs, nothing else really. These are asparagus. These are my asparagus fronds. I let them go all year because you do see the seeds here. And again, like I do up front, the seeds are good for the plant. Underneath, shortly, maybe even now, not quite yet, soon, I'll get all these cut down and we'll get little asparagus, guys, just popping right up. So we'll be eating off that. Those have been in there 5 or 6 years at least. So I can harvest those like crazy. Then on the other side of those, we have rhubarb, which is, I love rhubarb pie. And that is actually starting, you can see the dead leaves right here. There he is. He's coming back. And that comes back beautifully every year. It'll be massive before you know it. So this is our yard. This is what we work with. We like to garden, can, and it's just my hobby. So between the fishing and the gardening, we eat pretty well around here. So we'll show you guys when we get it all cleaned up and talk to you in a little bit.
We're rolling.
All right, so this is pretty much, it's a basic cleanup. We always mulch, and we'll be mulching probably here in a few weeks when the bulk mulch place has it. But what we did, we got all the dead stuff out, as you can see. It was easy to find. I don't know their names, but there's a giant weed that becomes a tree. We call them sucker plants. I don't know what they are. But now's the time to dig those out before your flowers come up. And that's what this big old dirt spot, we had a huge one in there, and that was its entire root system. So we got that dug out, got all the dead stuff, and now you can actually start to see some of the little green popping up here and there throughout the garden. Those are lilies. So the lilies are starting to come up. Everything was hiding underneath all that dead brush. So we got rid of that. This is what one of those suckers looks like. That's just a small one. And they become these massive trees they'll take over your entire garden. That's a root system from one of them. Huge. So it's important to try and get those out before everything comes up. But we just wanted to show you, you know, the basic. Everything will get bigger now and bloom nicely. We'll get it all mulched up and we'll be good to go out front. Throw some annuals in and we're set. And that's about it for out front.
Okay.
Woo!
Wow!
And there goes the lawn refuse.
Most of it.
That's the fun part of all the yard work. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of today's video. You'll be seeing more of me as we work on the vegetables and put in some annuals and do some mulching. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. We got a little bit of intro to Matthew Jess Outdoors and Mrs. Jess Outdoors yard. And we will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.